What is the new show? Because I saw you tweeting, it had to be several months ago at the very least, about wanting to do something with smaller creators. Can you expand on that? What is that?
So I got the opportunity to film and executive produce my very own reality competition show that'll be on my channel in the spring.
Awesome.
Which is amazing. It's basically a competition show to find the next big beauty star. And there hasn't really been like many of them in like that have been made beforehand. But there's been none that have focused on the actual influencer space rather than like just makeup. Because the reality is of like being a beauty influencer is so much more than just having makeup talent. Like if we're being honest, like makeup talent is like the least like required skill to have in order to like be a successful beauty influencer.
It's more the personality, the drive.
It's like 90% the personality. It's like personality, marketability, ability to like talk to somebody on camera well, like charisma, having like creative video concepts and ideas, and then like it's of course important to like be able to blend your eyeshadow and stuff.
This.
Yeah. So I really wanted to create a show that like focused on the influencer aspect of it and like what it takes to do this job, and also like giving small influencers who I think really deserve it the resources, advice that is solicited, and like giving them those like tips and tricks that you can't find anywhere else. Because I came up in the industry about 4 years ago, like we were saying, and like a few people were like really, really great mentors to me, but like everyone, like there's no guidebook to being an influencer. Like you kind of learn as you grow. Same thing with like being a YouTuber, being any position like in entertainment space. Like you learn as you grow and you make your mistakes and you find what works and what doesn't work. Like, and like that's on that. Like there's no like specific like checklist of like what you should and shouldn't do. But there's definitely things that like you learn. And like I'm the type of person that like needs to experience things firsthand in order to like let something actually like sink in and like process. But if I can give advice to anybody and save them from scandals or making huge mistakes, or like give anybody like the proper resources and tips to like skip over that learning phase, like hell yeah. Like I wish I had those type of things when like I first started and stuff. Like it would have made my climb a lot easier. So the whole point of the show is really to like give small artists and influencers advice, resources, and challenges to like actually push them in the right direction. So it's not a show that's focused on drama. It's not a show that's focused on like go home, like you suck, like this person's better than you. It's really like everybody that gets on is like a winner because they're all going home with a wealth of knowledge that they couldn't have gotten anywhere else.
And the promotion
which I think
on
is
a
dope.
related channel for something. Yeah.
So it's really cool.
How many episodes is it going to be?
It'll be 5 episodes. So it's like casting. It's like a meet the team episode and like how we created the show. And then it's 4 episodes of actual competition. So this is kind of like, this is season 1. So it's kind of like a pilot, if you will, I guess. Obviously with hopes that it gets picked up for season 2 to make it massive. But we kind of wanted to keep it small. And one of the things that's really cool about it is it's going on my channel and it's free. So it's with YouTube Originals, which is amazing.
I'm so glad they like changed the way that they do their stuff where it can go to everyone. Yeah.
Me too. And that was the biggest thing for me as well. Is like and originally it was actually self-funded. So I was able to secure sponsors of different beauty brands that I work super closely with. And we worked with our production company, Brian Graded Media, and we're going to make it just by ourselves for my channel for free because that was the biggest thing that was like important to me. But YouTube found out about it. It was like, hey, we want to do this with you. And I was like, oh, thank you. Huge honor. But like, I'm not comfortable having people paying for this. And they're like, oh no, we can make it for free. And I was like, oh, do tell me more. Like, please, like so that was like a match made in heaven where I was like, I didn't even know that was a possibility. So I was super excited to not only get that opportunity, but also make that happen because like for me, like YouTube has been like my biggest resource of like creating my persona and creating my like kind of James Charles empire, if you will, I guess. And like so many other people have done the same thing through YouTube. So I really wanted to create, like it would just feel like it would not feel right to have this amazing concept and have this amazing production team and film it for like a TV channel that like wouldn't really get that many views. Like if I had the opportunity to put it on my own channel and like if I had the opportunity to make it as good as an actual TV show and like make it look like and feel like an actual TV show with huge crazy sets and high production budget, but like put it on my own channel where like my actual core audience get to watch it and like the actual core beauty community who the show is like directed at gets to watch it. Like, hello, that's a match made in heaven. Yeah. And like, that's exactly what I got to do, which made it so cool.
So kind of putting mentor James hat on.
Yeah.
Right. So that you can be solicited for this. What's a piece of advice that, and let's say this extends past the beauty community. What's a piece of advice that you'd extend to young creators out there that are trying to
My biggest thing that I always say whenever I'm asked this question is find whatever makes you unique and run with it. because there's so many creators, especially young kids that have watched YouTubers come up and like have grown up watching the community just like I did, that see it and are like, oh my God, I want to do this one day. It's like the dream job. It's the best life ever. And see it and like, okay, I can do this too. Which, yes, of course, the whole point of YouTube is like anybody can become a creator, but the reality is not everybody can be a good creator. And like, that's like a harsh thing to say, but like, it is true. Some people are destined to be a superstar and some aren't. And like the people that you'll find that have really made a name for themselves or have made it to the top are ones that have found their niche or have found what they're really good at and have taken that all the way.
What about a piece of advice for someone that they just had like that moment where they went from 0 to 500,000, 0 to 1 million?
Yeah.
What would be something you'd say?
Keep going. Good job.
Just keep doing it.
Good job. Like, good job. Congratulations. Now keep going. Like, I feel like so many people get that little boost or like get that like one viral moment and think that like they've officially made it, which like we've all seen over the course of the last several years on the internet, like is not the reality of the situation. Like it definitely takes like a game plan, a marketing strategical whatever. I'm sorry. I'm like, my brain is like not working as it should.
The flu's slowly taking over.
It does take a game plan, and it takes like planning ahead of time and coming up with creative concepts and kind of figuring out like a roadmap to what you want to do in order to like create a long lasting career for yourself. Because if you just have that one viral moment and you're like, oh, I've made it, like that's not how it works. Like we've seen so many people that have came up and then died out slowly over time because people just didn't care or they didn't make an effort to change or elevate their content. And it's like people do get bored and people do want to always move on to the next thing. Whereas we've seen other creators that have been around since day one that have constantly evolved and constantly changed their content and constantly made an effort to get with the trends. And that's how you stay relevant and successful. And like I said, everybody can do YouTube, but there's only a select few people who have that mindset and who are able to kind of think in a forward direction to be able to actually make those changes.
Yeah, and then I will say I'm excited to see what this next generation looks like, just because we've seen so many faces come up in different ways on TikTok, and then, like you even said, then migrating off to try and either do something else different with that content, or if they do a vlog, or just the fact that they're planting roots elsewhere. That's been exciting. I said it on one of the last podcasts. The sketch comedy scene is like really bubbling up on TikTok.
Well, TikTok is funny. Like, there's so many people on TikTok that are fucking hilarious. Can you swear on this?
Yeah.
There's so many people on TikTok that are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I sit and scroll and I'm like crying laughing at this point. And like, I truly feel like, and this might cause a controversy, but I truly feel like Vine walked so TikTok could like fucking sprint.
That's accurate.
Like, TikTok is so funny. Like, there are so many creators on there that are creating actually genuinely really funny, creative content. And I also feel like the humor on TikTok is dark, which personally I love.
Yes.
And it's not as like frowned upon to create that dark humor yet.
Not yet. No,
not yet.
It's weird because I saw there was
like you can make some pretty raunchy jokes on TikTok and it like won't create too much of a scandal.
Yeah, well, that was the thing is I saw like there was like I forget if it was like if it was a site or if it was just a thing on Twitter that blew up. People were like angry at Logan Paul because he wore a mask and said "fuck the coronavirus," and I was like, dude, if you're getting angry about that, don't go to TikTok. I was like, because those motherfuckers dark memes for days.
Which I mean I love. Like I
feel like it's a coping mechanism. I don't
yes.
But and obviously there has to be like there's an understanding of sensitivities and such. But I think especially like when I look at the age range and like everything that's happening right now, I see it as comedy and probably very much a coping mechanism and not people just trying to be disrespectful.
Agreed 1,000%. And it's, for me, I think it's exciting that kids within like that demographic that are watching that and consuming that content aren't getting as offended, because that means that like the new generation is coming up that will like hopefully be less
sensitive.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a word that like isn't awful, but like sensitive. I guess it's a good way for it.
Well, James, I feel like you're fucked no matter what you say, because the word that would come to mind would be like triggered on things that aren't devastating. Yeah, right. Where something where it's like the reaction makes sense compared to the thing that started it. Yeah, you know.